Hey there, Mark Helton here, and this video is for all of our white label users here at Hop Prospector. First off, I just want to say thank you so much. Because of you, we have been able to release feature after feature after feature this year, and we have plenty more coming over the next few months. And obviously, the goal here at Hop Prospector is to give you access to a tool that's not just the most easy to use tool, but also the most powerful tool available to you, okay? Now, in this video, I'm gonna be showing you how the all-in-one voicemail, SMS, and email campaigns work with automations. These behavioral automations are gonna change the game for you on any of your marketing initiatives that you're running, your sales automation initiatives, and it's going to make it so much easier for your customers and your users or even your salespeople to get more response with less effort. Okay, so first off, to be able to get access to this campaign that you're seeing here, all you have to do is mouse over the all-in-one campaign button here, and you're going to click Add Campaign. Now, the first thing that you're going to want to do when you're creating this campaign is just give it a name and select your time zone. Now, each of these campaigns can have their own specific time zone. So in this case, I'm in Las Vegas, and I want to run this campaign in Las Vegas, so I've got that time zone selected. Next, I'm going to select the group that I want to either send a broadcast from or send out autoresponder messages as leads are being added to my group. The tags and skip lead tags, this gives you control. So let's say, for example, a lead is added and you want to only send out messages to leads that have the specific tag. You can do that here by just selecting those tags here, okay? Now, if you want to be able to skip specific leads that have a tag, so for example, let's say you don't want any of your customers to get a message if they get added into this group, you can skip them here. Okay, now here is your from email, because again, all of these messages or all of these campaigns work together. You're going to have to select the email that you want to be sending from, and you can send from as many different emails as you like within the system. So you can create as many campaigns as you want and send from different emails. Now the phone number is for sending text messages and ringless voicemails. This is going to be your caller ID. Now, we give you the ability here on your campaigns to send messages from literally hundreds of numbers at once. The reason why we have this is because a lot of the carriers have started to block voicemails and text messages if you're sending bulk messages to lots of people at once from the same phone number. So if you're sending more than a couple hundred messages a day, you must send from multiple numbers. So we give you the ability here to literally purchase all the phone numbers you want from inside of your dashboard. So you can go in here, select the area codes you want, or send from toll-free numbers, select all these numbers, and then you'll have the ability here to add all the numbers that you want. Now, the way our program works, or the way the system works, is it'll automatically distribute your leads over the different over the different phone numbers that you're sending from. So for example, if a lead is added into the system and it's grouped in with this phone number, it's only going to send a voicemail to that lead from this number, and it's only going to send a text message to that lead from this number. And if the lead calls in on this number, then it's going to be taken through the inbound campaigns that we have set up for this, okay? So the next thing I want to talk about, speaking of large broadcasts, we have the ability for you to throttle your broadcast. So if you have thousands of messages, you can't handle all of the response, the voicemails and the text messages that come in from a campaign at once. So what we have given you the ability to do is set up a throttle where every 15 minutes, every 30 minutes, every 60 minutes, you can send out some certain amount of messages. So the slower you have it, so let's say, for example, if you have it set to send out 50 messages every hour, then it's going to go real slow. But if you wanted to run fast, you could say send out 500 messages every 15 minutes. And remember, that's all going to be distributed over these phone numbers that you have in the campaign. Okay. Now, again, speaking of automation, we want to make it simple for you to set up a campaign that runs while every single day without you thinking about it. So here you can actually set up a schedule and certain days that you'd like to skip. So let's say you don't work on Saturdays and Sundays and you don't want to work on certain holidays. All you do is select that here and the times that you want the campaign to run. Okay, so if you want to run from 11 to 6, all you do is go ahead and add that and click submit. So this is creating the campaign. Once you've done this, the campaign is going to create itself. Okay, and there is your campaign. Now, inside the campaign, you have all of these different settings that you have the ability to use. Now, these are all optional, like the inbound and stuff like that, but you want to go in and set them all up from within this campaign. So your inbound setting is going to give you the ability to create a call flow, which is how you want your leads, or sorry, how do you want your calls to be handled when they come into the system. So we have a fully functional IVR built into the campaign. So that means you can have call menus, you can do direct transfers, you can have caller groups to call multiple people, you know, have so much control over these IVRs. Now, if you don't want to do anything fancy, all you have to do is just do a forward to and select the number that you want to dial. And what will happen is, if you select this forward to, then all of the calls that come into this campaign are just going to be forwarded to that number. But again, you have the control to do all sorts of other things. So you could create a voicemail greeting, a greeting that people hear when they call in. You can send out an automated text message, automatic reply when somebody calls in. You can send it to an agent from within the system. You can unsubscribe a lead if they hit a specific button. I mean, literally, the options are endless when it comes to the inbound call flows. Now, what's also very nice is you have the ability to set hours, and let's say certain times of the day you want to send the calls to a different area. All you have to do is select that option, and then you can send a different, so set up a different IVR menu and send your calls in that direction after hours. Now, as far as the outbound settings are concerned, here we give you the ability to do a power dial or a predictive dial inside of the system. And we'll get into this a little bit more later, but the power dialer is really awesome, because when you have the leads working together and all of these campaigns work together, this allows you to dial through those leads as well, and only call the leads that haven't been responding to your messages. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and click submit on this, and then we're going to go to the next tab here. Okay, so to send out messages, you have two options. First is your broadcast. So anything under the schedule tab would be considered a broadcast. Now, a broadcast is sending out a message to everybody on your list at any given time. So for example, let's say I just want to send everybody an email. All I do is click here on you know, add new message, right? And then this box is going to pop up here. I can click the message that I'd like to send. And in this case, we're going to say send email. And here I can schedule when I want it to go out. So if I want it to go out tomorrow at 11:30 a.m., I do that. And then here I can select my, my template. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and select a template. Okay, and scroll down here and click save. Now you'll notice that we have this option here where it says ignore follow-up tag. Basically what this does, if you select this option, because our system will automatically stop messaging your customers once they've responded, so that way you're not hitting your customers over and over and over again with unwanted messages once you're working them as a lead. But if you want all of your customers to receive a message here, you just select this ignore follow-up tag, and it's going to send a message to everybody anyways. So we're going to go ahead and click save. And there you have it. You've added a broadcast. And you can add as many messages as you'd like, SMS messages, and also keep in mind we are 100% TCPA, CAN spam compliant. You have all of your opt-outs and everything you need to make sure you are taken care of as far as making sure you're following the laws. And there you have it. I've set up a campaign with an email, a text message, and a voicemail. These are all broadcast messages. Very, very simple. Doesn't take much time for you to set that up. All right, next, let's talk about autoresponders. So autoresponders, what's the difference between a broadcast and an autoresponder? Well, an autoresponder is going to give you the ability to send out a message to a lead that is added to your group. So these are like, you know, perfect if you're running advertisements online, if you've got leads that are coming in from Facebook, that sort of thing. So here, for example, let's say you wanted a lead to receive an email as soon as they're added into your to your group, you would select the interval of 0, and then you could select your template. Now, if you wanted to pause and send out the message after a specific length of time on that day, for example, let's say the lead comes in, you have an instant day, but you want to wait, let's say 30 minutes after the lead comes in, you can select that. You also have the ability to go in hours. So once you've added that message, all you do is click save, and it works very similarly to the broadcast. All you have to do is just click on the plus button here, and then you can keep adding all of the messages that you would like. So you just go in, select the interval, and then after you've selected a day interval, you have the ability to select what time you want it to go out. Remember, these are all set up based off of the campaign time zone, sorry. And there you have it. Okay, so setting up a campaign inside of this system is very simple when it comes to doing an autoresponder or a broadcast. Either way, as many messages as you want, there's no limit, and there's no limit to the number of campaigns that you can create. Okay, all right, so now let's talk about automations. Automations are really going to give you a ton of control when it comes to what happens to a lead once they do something within your system, okay? And it's very intuitive. So what is an automation? An automation is something that happens when some kind of a trigger is fired in our system, okay? So if you click on add automation, you'll see here, these are all of the triggers that we give you. So again, if this trigger happens, you have the ability to do some kind of an automation. So let's start with these triggers. So you have inbound call triggers. So basically an inbound call trigger would mean if you received a call from your broadcast or your autoresponder into this campaign, then it would fire off some kind of a action. An inbound SMS, same thing. If somebody sends you a text message, then you will be able to fire off a action. The email response, same thing. If somebody responds to one of your emails, it'll fire off an action. Clicking a link in the email, opening the email. A ringless voicemail fail. This is really powerful. You could do all kinds of stuff when somebody's voicemail isn't delivered, because it will happen. When you try to send out a voicemail, sometimes their voicemail box is full or the carrier didn't accept it. With this, you have the ability to do something different with those leads. Group added. This is basically if the lead is added to another group through some other means within the system, then you have the ability to fire off an automation. The group is group is removed from the lead. So if the lead was in a group and then you removed it, this can fire off an action. Tag added. A tag is a very powerful feature inside of Hot Prospector. So you can do the same thing you can do with the tag or the groups with the tags, whether it's removed or added. And this one here is something a lot of people love, and that is the pixel tracking code. You can add a pixel tracking code, which is basically a little bit of code on a page on your website, and if somebody lands on that pixel that's inside of your system, it will fire off a trigger to the system and allow you to send out some kind of action. And then last but not least is the voicemail received. Voicemail received means that whenever somebody leaves you a voicemail in the system, you can fire off some kind of an action. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and create one here together. Actually, let's do inbound SMS. Okay, so in this case, we're going to do an inbound SMS to an auto call. Now, there's tons of ways that you can use these automations, and once you start using them, you'll see it's very, very powerful. But as far as adding a automation, all you do is select the trigger that you want, and then once that has been added, the trigger, then you come into the actual automations that you want, and just like with the campaigns, all you do is click the plus button and then select from the actions available. Now, we have a ton of actions. You can send an email, you can send a text message, you can send a voicemail, you can send a notification to somebody on your team, you can move the contact, add a contact somewhere else, unsubscribe a contact, update the notes in a contact. There's tons of options there. You can fire a webhook. You can update a deal status within the system, because we have our own sales pipelines that manage your clients along the way. You can look for some kind of a condition within the system. So for example, let's say that you want this trigger to fire, but only in the case of, you know, the fact that there is some kind of a no sale deal status on your campaign. You could do that. There's all sorts of filters in here, and we will go into that more in another video. You have the ability to do a conditional, go to a different action within the system. You can wait for a specific length of time or wait until some condition is met. You can add a SMS conversation campaign. Now, an SMS conversation campaign is really powerful. What'll happen here is you can pre-program a complete conversation where you're gathering information from your customer. So let's say you wanted to send out a text message to somebody and ask them a series of questions. What's your name? What's your email? How soon are you looking to purchase a home? When are you looking to, or how big of a home are you looking for? All of those types of questions can be pre-programmed, and any of the responses that come in will automatically be added here inside of the system. Okay, so these are all of your actions. Once you've created once you've created an action, your campaign is set up. So we're just going to go ahead and select a voicemail in this case. And what will happen now is when a text message is received, they're going to receive a voicemail automatically, okay? So this is the conclusion here for the automations and all-in-one campaigns. I hope you really love what you see here. By the way, I should probably do another video on the reporting, but these reports are so awesome because when you go into the reports, you have the ability to drill down and see all kinds of stuff that's happening on your campaigns. So you can see all the messages that were delivered, you can see responses, and have the ability to see what kind of response you're getting. If the calls are over 30 seconds, you obviously know that they're much better response. You can track all your inbound calls. You can also see different things that's happening with calls as far as the outbound and inbound calls. And one of the things that I think is really cool is getting into the insights here and seeing all of the different graphs that you have that represent what things are actually doing within the campaign. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Be prepared, we've got a ton of other stuff coming at you, but I hope you enjoy the all-in-one campaigns with the automations. It's so simple to use. You can fire off a campaign literally within minutes, and you can go as basic as you want, or you can get it as advanced as you want with all of these automations. And the powerful thing about this is you don't need Zapier, you don't need any other tools. Everything from within Hot Prospector. All right, so thanks again for your continued support, and good luck and happy prospecting.